Social Q. We are in downtown Las Vegas, and tonight I want to talk about my top 5 tips for dealing with social anxiety, especially if you're naturally an introvert. Let's get started. So the first tip that I want to talk about is going to be frame control. The way I would explain what a frame is it's just another word for your mindset, a way of thinking. So the frame that I want to have while I'm out, especially alone, is that I am of value, and that anyone that comes into contact with me while I'm out for the night, it's going to enhance their night and they're going to benefit from it. When you have that way of thinking, it's almost like it's going to draw people in. See, being congruent with those thoughts is what makes it so that you don't have to think as much. You can be in the moment, and that's when you truly start having fun, especially when you're socially anxious. So I want you to practice that. First thing is thinking really hard about what your frame or mindset is for the night and keeping that in check. So the second tip that I want to give you is to stop listening to the voice inside of your head. That is your ego. And the whole purpose of that is to keep you from dying. But what you don't understand is our brains are still wired to think and correlate social interaction with potentially dying. Because if you did that in prehistoric times, you were coming across someone that might have to murder you and take your supplies out of your cave. That is not the case. It is 2019. So once you stop listening to that annoying voice telling you these people might not like me, it's really just protecting you from potential embarrassment. I'll be honest, you're gonna get rejected a lot when walking up to strangers, but every once in a while, you'll kind of come across that person that becomes a true friend to you, all because you had the courage to approach them. I've had many friendships start from doing that. I ride a motorcycle in my free time. I've made friends at stoplights just by having a conversation with people. It truly is an amazing skill to develop. So the third tip that I want to talk about tonight is going to be random approaches. Now, I want you to start off, like I said in the last video, or maybe the one before that, approaching at least 5 people in the first week that you start. You're gonna notice that it might not be the easiest to start because you have that anxiety, you're nervous. A good thing to do is to start using that nervousness instead of a way for you to kind of be scared. I want you to use that as fuel. When you feel nervous, that means you're doing something right in terms of interacting with people socially. So, I want you to start by approaching at least 5 people. This can be in a coffee shop, your daily life, the bus, walking around if you're walking. Honestly, I don't care where you start doing it, as long as you just start conversations with people. Ask them where they're from, what they do for work. If you like something they're wearing, compliment it. You want to slowly up that number each week. So I usually up it by 5. I'll start off at 5 for the first week I'm starting, then 10, then 15, then you won't need to count anymore. You'll just be comfortable enough to start conversations with random people, and once you get that locked down, that social anxiety is going to start to go away slowly, but surely. After a while, you'll notice that it's barely even there. And some people, it never really goes away, but what you learn is you understand what it is and that it doesn't serve you. So tip number 4 is going to be breathing. Honestly, when you first start out, and even once you've been doing this for a long time, you're going to get rejected by groups of people. Here on Fremont, if I'm walking up to people starting a conversation, ironically, they think I'm some sort of promoter trying to get them to come into my club for the night. I've had a few people turn me down tonight in terms of trying to make a conversation with them. But the coolest thing that I've learned to do, the most helpful trick that helps me in situations like this, is I take a nice deep breath and I relax. And I realize that just because these people don't understand that I'm trying to have a fun night, that is not my fault. And once you get that down, you're again going to feel this confidence building from within to where you can interact with as many people as you want and create the fun night that you are searching for. So tip number 5, I want you to start focusing on how you view yourself, your self-image. So when I started off, my self-image wasn't that high. I wasn't necessarily the most social person, and you can probably relate to that if you're introverted a little bit. And how I worked on that was slowly learning what characteristics people liked when they were interacting with me. You don't have to flat out ask people, but you'll hear it. And after a while, I would like you to sit down and write down your top 5 most favorite positive attributes that you have and start reading those to yourself before you go out every night. This is going to temporarily, at least, until you've really memorized these things and realize truly deep down to your heart that you're a person of value. At least reading them before you go out is going to make it so you're confident for the night. So start working on those things, and remember, stay social.